1.
So, when people have an ongoing headache, there are some techniques we can do to really lessen the pain right away. The first thing that seems to work really well is just to gently, very slowly and gently rock the head. And unlike a chiropractor, this will never be a fast movement, and there'll never be any fast movement following this. And as I'm doing this, it's helping her neck muscles to relax. And what we're after is for her to let her head just fall to the side. So I'm not actually pushing to the side, I'm letting gravity take it to the side. And as this goes back and forth, the neck muscles relax, and that helps the headache as well as the neck tension. We also do it this way. So I'm lifting here and just letting her head fall. And notice each time we do it, she goes a little farther. But again, I'm not pushing any of this. I'm just feeling for just the point where it naturally wants to stop, and then letting it go just to that point. And just as we do it more, it just goes more and more each time. The second technique that works really well for ongoing head issues is to actually work the head itself. And I'm using my fingertips here to do that. And this gets rid of a lot of head tension. So that good feeling you sometimes get when you're at the hair salon and they wash your hair, it's really a technique that's a lot like that. It feels like that. And a lot of headache pain is really related to tension in the kind of the scalp itself. And so we're working all along here to lessen the tension. And then also on the top. I always ask people where their headache is. If it's in the back of the head, on the sides by the temple, or perhaps right behind the eyes. And then we'll focus more of our efforts based on that. So with an ongoing headache, we begin to start with squeezing very gently here and then working up the neck. Now right now Bonnie we're just doing this through clothing to demonstrate the techniques. And some people, if they wish, can just work right through a layer of clothing, just like we're doing here. Most people choose to do this within the context of a therapeutic massage. Either way works just fine. So I've kind of worked up her head, and I'm giving her some gentle traction as I'm moving up, and even a little bit of a stretch. Usually when people have headaches, what is part of the problem is all of these muscles have contracted, and it's almost like compressed. It's like the neck has almost gotten shorter, and so all that tension is contributing. So by doing these kind of pulling techniques and gentle stretching techniques and a little traction, that really helps tremendously. As people need more traction, I'm holding underneath just below the skull here and giving her a gentle stretch. You can see the nice stretch here. Because so much tension is also on the outer parts of the shoulder and the sides of the neck, we can also stretch this way. And I'll often have the client assist. Bonnie, if you please just push towards my hand slightly and then relax. And I'm pushing it down. One more time, slightly and relax. We'll do the same thing now on our right side. I relax it down and then hover slightly and relax, and slightly again and relax. Good. And now we've really stretched out the neck. We'll go back to our original technique now that we did, which is a little bit side to side. And just notice how much farther she's going now than when we first did this. And that would be kind of how we would start to ease people's headache, tension, and pain when they have an ongoing headache when they come in for some therapeutic massage work. And we're going to demonstrate just some of the ways we work on people's necks and their shoulders in the face-up position. My wife Bonnie here is helping us to demonstrate. And first of all, the safest way to work on a person's neck is in the face-up position. And we want to certainly work on the areas that encompass both the sides of the neck, underneath the neck, and even the jaws. That actually contributes quite a bit to neck and shoulder tension. So I'll use a little lotion here. The lotions we use are also important. We use some, if the client wishes, that have a little bit of menthol in them that really helps the muscles. We have a lot of specialty lotions that really help with the muscles, and we often ask ahead of time if they have any that they like or any that they prefer not to have. So I'm putting some lotion on here, on her neck, and also on her jaws, just a little bit. Working on the lotion first. We very often use hot stones also for massage, and I'll just get a stone quickly and show you what those look like. And these are heated up in a crock pot. And here's one stone we'll use, and then another one. We'll use the stones often, not only directly as massage tools, but initially just to warm up the lotion in my hands. And this feels good too, to have the stones to warm things up. So we start out often with techniques that are like kind of a gentle massage, squeezing technique to really work those muscles that are right where the neck joins the shoulders. This is an area of a lot of tension, and even if you're feeling it primarily in your neck, it really is contributed to a great extent by these muscles that support the neck. And notice I'm again using a little bit of gentle traction, just a slight stretch, and that really helps everything to relax and elongate and expand. I work my way up the neck, the back of the neck, supporting the head with my hands here, and then work especially these areas right below the skull. There are a lot of acupressure points that we focus in on that really also help to eliminate neck tension as well as headaches. And I'm working those now. So both massage techniques and acupressure points are utilized. As we said, jaw tension contributes to a great extent to neck tension, so we'll work the jaws. Please open your mouth very slightly. That's it. And work around the front of the neck here. And after we've thoroughly worked in the neck area, more time than we've taken now, we'll then go to the shoulders. It works very well to go underneath the shoulder with one hand and find these spots right around the shoulder blade. There's a lot of tension. I'll often use the other hand, you see my thumb here, to push down on points on the top of the shoulder. And then usually there's tension here in this upper chest area around the collarbone. Now this isn't at all on breast tissue, but it's on this musculature that's right here in this upper chest area. And this really helps. As we work this area here and hold the acupressure points, we're helping these muscles in front to relax, to help the shoulder go from its kind of rounded forward position, which really contributes to neck and shoulder tension, to back down, which is where it belongs with good posture. And that helps tremendously. So working a little bit in this area is very helpful. Working on the upper arms and throughout the whole arms is also very good. And we'll do that as well. We won't do that right now for this video because we're focusing on neck and shoulder tension, but in a typical massage we do. And I'm looking for areas underneath where there's the most tension to hold the acupressure points as I use massage techniques in these areas here and on upper arm, shoulder area that also has a number of acupressure points that are good for neck and shoulder tension. So we do this on this side and certainly do the same kind of thing on the other side. And then go back to the neck again before we finish the face out to again do another round on her neck itself to help with neck and shoulder tension release. A typical way that we start a massage for most people, based on just wanting general relaxation or particularly they have neck and shoulder tension, is in a face-down position, often starting with their head itself, massaging that, helping tension the head to alleviate. And then from there, we would typically move into the area where the neck meets the shoulders. Now, a great way to help with that is to use hot stones. We get these stones from Lake Superior, and we heat them up in a crock pot. Of course, they're cleaned very, very thoroughly after each use, so they're ready to go. And I'll put some lotion on my hands and then use the heat of the stones to warm up the lotion, and also use the stone directly on the skin to help kind of work the hot lotion into the skin. And hot stones are optional. Once in a while people would prefer not to have anything kind of extra heat, and so certainly we wouldn't use them in that case. And I'm using a technique first that kind of, I would say, kind of dissipates a lot of tension. This is kind of a technique that works to really, really break up tension. And I'll use the other stone because this first one cooled off a bit. And again, I'm using it directly. It's a little warm, so I'm going a little faster until it cools down a little bit. And then we also use a lot of more smooth techniques like this. And again, as a client, you might find that some techniques feel better than others, and we would simply not use the ones that don't feel as good for you and use the ones that do. And I'm working down to our mid-back here. At the beginning of massage and for neck and shoulder work, most of the focus is on this area where the neck meets the shoulders and around the shoulder blades. So there's other techniques that dissipate. This is one. This is an Asian technique. We often also use specific acupressure points too. I'm using my thumbs here along actual acupressure points along the spine. And moving my thumb to the center, I'm finding the space between the vertebrae so I can find the exact spot. Working down the back. And then we'd often use techniques like this. This really helps that tension. For people that like very deep pressure, we can use our whole forearms. Even if they don't like real deep pressure, this feels good to use the forearms because this really kind of covers a lot more area and feels very good. If people like real deep pressure, then I would use the elbows like this. Another technique that works very, very well is to work underneath the shoulders from this face down position. Here, I put my hand just in the front of her shoulders here, and I'm first just kind of relaxing this. And notice how I can then go underneath her shoulder blade, right like this. This feels really good to get work underneath the shoulder blade. And by gently rocking, that helps her muscles relax. I can move deeper with more relaxation. In addition to that, we want to stretch this area here. So we do it like this. She relaxes her arm, and I just do kind of a rotational move here. And I'm going up and then back down again. And notice after doing that, it'll be even easier yet to get way underneath her shoulder blade. This feels really good for the client. We would then use a little more pressure here if she wishes, and just kind of move down. And that would complete the kinds of work we would do in the upper body in a face down position.